Alright, we're back with some more Volkswagen Vanagon tips and tricks. It's for the 2.1. Some of this stuff is similar on the 1.9 liter engine, but I have a 2.1. Just something of note real quick, another thing is this is the light switch on and off. And one of the first times I drove it, I was actually driving it fast. I think, and then I did a night trip, and so I was driving for a couple of hours, and it overheated and melted the light switch. I actually still haven't replaced it because I was able to clean out the melted plastic inside of it. I took it off. I take the dash apart and cleaned it. Melted around this little ball hinge type thing, ball bearing, and so it still works. But I'd say a tip is to not have it run too long. I think it's probably a defective thing on these is the internals of the switch. I think it's a little spendy to replace the switch, so maybe don't have the lights on for too long. Maybe pull over and let it cool down because it overheats. So another thing on the Vanagon, I got this. This is the dash cover over the steering wheel here. It pops off. It's not the easiest thing to get off and not break anything, but I managed. Actually, might be a little broken piece of plastic in there. Wasn't me, it was somebody else. But in case you didn't know, the brake fluid reservoir is right here. If you didn't look it up, you probably wouldn't know, because that thing's not the easiest to get off, that cover. So there's how you fill your brake fluid. Right here's the cap. So there's that. And then up front here, really, a lot of people will say clean all of your grounds, and so there's a ground screw right here, so I had that off and I cleaned it. And then there's another one over here. Took that off and cleaned it. And the best way to clean your grounds is to use a wire brush and sandpaper. And then once you clean it, once you got it scraped off and nice and all the rust off and gunk, and or just corrosion or whatever, dirt, wash it off like with a wet soapy rag or something like that, and then let it dry before you reinstall it. So I looked up here. I checked all my fuses. So there's a fuse box here. Here's the cover. It goes right here. There was no, so people said to look for corrosion and stuff. I didn't have any up here, so all this stuff is fine. But if you have corrosion issues up here, maybe you'll be replacing some of your fuses and relays here. So, and then another thing is some of the stuff, or a lot of this stuff here on the Vanagon's kind of tricky or hidden, I guess. So the grill right here goes on the front. This is how you get into your coolant. So if you want, there's your radiator up front. If you want to bleed the air out of your radiator, you got this bolt right here on the upper left, and it looks like it rusts pretty good. So when I've taken it off, I spray it down with some WD-40 or Rust Buster or whatever you got first. Let it soak in, and then I was able to move this little piece of whatever out of the way and put a little crescent wrench on it. So you open that to let air out of your cooling system, because that's the highest point on the van. And another suggestion is that you lift the front of the vehicle so you get it even higher. You get this point even higher off the ground, so all the air will work its way out of here easier when the front's jacked up and on jack stands or ramps or whatever you have. So another thing is the grill here. The bottoms just kind of stab in, and they just kind of stab in, and then the tops here have these, might be kind of hard to see, but there's a bolt or a screw and up and down allows it to come off, and then you turn it just sideways and that locks it in. So when it's sideways, it let's see, can you see the head of the bolt? Yes, it's sideways. So up and down will pull it off. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the top of the grill. You have to turn them so that the screw, the slotted, the Phillips head, no, the slotted screwdriver will be up and down if you want to get that to pop off. Get all those screws up and down instead of horizontal. So taking that grill off, it's pretty easy. Putting it back on, you kind of have to press it and kind of bend it a little bit. Another thing is the battery tray. In case you don't know, it's under the seat. It's under the passenger seat. And an issue what I had with my battery was that it fit really tightly, and I couldn't get any other batteries in other than the original battery. Well, I took this out of my truck because I didn't need this battery, and the way I made it fit is I just replaced the whole ground cable with a longer one. It only connects right here in the floor. So if you get a longer ground cable, you can fit different batteries in here. Because like I said, the original battery I had was hard to get in. This is easy to lift in and out now. The other one didn't have a handle, and it was just tight, and I could barely grab it to get it out. So if you want to be able to get different batteries in here, just change your ground strap. It'll give you more options, makes it easier. And then I'm going to try to find some, lastly, I'm going to try to find some the grounds back here. There is one right here besides the coil on the firewall, or no, well, I guess you'd call that body. So that you can see I cleaned it off. I even sanded the paint off, just exposed bare metal as much as I could. So there's that one. Another one that's hard to find is it might even be hard to show you here, but it's on the engine. Okay, so then right here is the AC. Let's see if I can see it. Yeah, there's a ground on the engine. I think it's this brown wire. Yeah, that brown wire is a ground. So that is on the engine. So that one's kind of, yeah, that's a little bit of a pain to get to. So you can clean that off of all the gunk and junk. The other one that I know of is underneath. So we go under. There's the bottom of the engine. Let's see if I can find the thing. So that was part 3 of Vanagon fixes and tips and fixes. There's a part 4. I'm having to break the videos up because of space to what I can upload on YouTube. But so it's on my channel, Kind of Homesteading. There's also a part 1 and part 2, but I'm gonna put up a part 4 as well right now. So thanks for watching. Look for that other one.